You are Locked On Heat POSTCAST. Part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, Heat fan? Welcome to your Locked On Heat postcast. My name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. Loving that TV up a little higher behind me. Can you take me higher? Gotta love that right there. How about this? That new setup got it a little bit higher. I actually realized that we can see that box there, but we're going to have to work on that after this show. My name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, G-R-I-E-S, @JimGrease_. Give me a follow, make you holla. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm not playing, but the Miami Heat were playing great tonight in Milwaukee, where they don't win. They've lost 8 of 9 there. And tonight, no exception, as the Milwaukee Bucks come climbing all the way back from a game-long deficit. Miami holding it down. The Bucks had the lead, 18-17 in the first quarter. They didn't have the lead again until more than halfway through the fourth, as per recent trends and disturbing trends continuing, the Miami Heat fall apart in the fourth quarter. Outscored, 35-20 tonight in Q4. Look, they had the 37-point first quarter. Miami did. Unbelievable. 37 points in the first. They scored 28 in the third. I mean, Milwaukee won 3 of the 4 quarters. They outscored Miami 32-28 in the second, 30-28 in the third, and 35-20. They smoked them in the fourth. So after the hot start, the 14-point lead at the end of the first quarter, where Miami came out literally on fire in this game. You know, for real, they did. They came out on fire in this game. They were up 10 at the half, but in the first quarter, they were really playing great. Tyler Herro, shout out Tyler. Another big night, a 40-point game for Tyler. Bam, not really great on the glass tonight, but he had a 20-point game. Kel'el Ware holding it down in the paint as well. Andrew Wiggins, really good in the first half, not in the second. Missed some easy shots down the stretch, a couple of bunnies on him. And look, he wasn't being guarded by any great defender, and he should be winning his matchups. More on that. Un momento, por favor. You see the blue on my name, though. It's Vice City, baby. Yeah, baby. GTA, Vice City. And it felt like a Vice City robbery tonight in Milwaukee. But, you know, the Heat just ran out of gas. And Tyler Herro down the stretch in particular, they take him out of the game. And Milwaukee goes on a 12-2 run. This is your Heat Postcast, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, and tonight's show is brought to you by FanDuel, and you know how much I love FanDuel right now. Hey, it's your tomorrow, it's your today, because FanDuel, has something for you. New customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins with FanDuel. And that is a great, great partner and sponsor of ours here on the Locked On Podcast Network. One more thing to remind you of is that your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Heat daily newsletter. It's one stop, Ultimate Heat and NBA coverage delivered right to your inbox. Kind of like the old days with the paper, but digitally speaking. Sign up for free now, LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day. Yours, not mine, not theirs. Yours with the all-new free Locked On Heat newsletter. All right, Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. 120-113. The Bucks win tonight. They come back on your Miami Heat, and really it's a tale of 4 quarters in the NBA, and Miami just running out of gas in the fourth. It was Bam picking up his 4th foul in the third quarter. He hits a 30-foot 3 at the end of the shot clock, comes down, hits another 3. He's 2 for 2 from 3 at that point. You're figuring everything's going your way. You're about halfway through the third quarter, and then Bam picks up a ticky-tack reach-in foul way away from the play, off the ball. Which official? I mean, why in the hell are you even looking at this as an NBA official? You got other things and bigger fish to fry than that on the floor. Not the best call. Spo didn't like it either. And Bam's off the floor halfway through the third, and he's back on for the start of the fourth. No excuses, but that really stemmed the tide. That really quelled the momentum. I like the word quell. It quelled the momentum is what it did. And when your Miami Heat are in that situation with Bam's in foul trouble and Tyler starts the fourth quarter on the bench. And so here's what's happening, right? You're going to a cold Bam right off the bench, who was really playing well offensively before that moment. And then you got Tyler on the bench, and he's your hot scorer tonight. It's a 40-point game. So you got Bam coming in cold. You got Tyler on the bench. Who's going to be that scorer? Wiggy, wiggy, wiggy. Can't you see? Sometimes your funks just hypnotized me because Andrew Wiggins has 15 points in the first half. And how can Andrew Wiggins be the same player? And I'm not even going to say if I would have said what just came to my mind about who he couldn't score on in the fourth quarter, I probably would never have a job again. But what I'm saying is Scribinis, guys who Andrew Wiggins should be dominating down the stretch of games, and they don't have the confidence to go to him, and he doesn't have the confidence to score right now in those situations. So that was not a good thing for Wiggins, who had 15 points at halftime and didn't really do a lot down the stretch for the Heat. So that really handcuffed them. And when Wiggins is one-on-one down the stretch, and you're hoping that this dude can win some individual battles, you know what I mean? And I mean, he's got guys like Prince on him. He's got guys like Kuzma on him. Kuzma, you know what I mean? It's he couldn't cover a bed with a blanket. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to score on this guy. You have to. And that's where Wiggins has got to step up. And this is at times where the Dubs fans would get a little bit concerned about him with his consistency. He's a number one pick in the damn draft, right? Think about this. Think about the tantalizing talent. Years ago, Jimmy Butler saying he was the number one talent in Minnesota when he came to Miami, right? So here comes Kyle Kuzma all over you. You know, they don't even have Bobby Portis Jr. It's the third game of his 25-game suspension. Giannis is coming back from injury. New identity for the Bucks. Doc Rivers hasn't completely ruined them yet, but he's on his way toward that. And, you just had greatness in the fourth quarter from Giannis Antetokounmpo, and then, of course, Dame Dalla make you holla. Those guys down the stretch making it happen for the Bucks. But really, Miami fading in the fourth quarters has been the issue. And real quick, have to mention, Nikola Jovic broke his hand. He has a fractured shooting hand, a fractured bone. I think it's this one in his shooting hand, and he's going to be out for quite a while. And that sucks because he's literally your top reserve in the front court right now, and you had a beautiful rotation in the works with those guys up front, with Bam and finally Kel'el Ware. They're really starting to gel with those two guys, and then Wiggy, can't you see? Those guys, and then Jovic being the fourth. And now Anderson's role is going to be magnifying. So we don't know how long that Jovic is going to be out. Jaquez is a guy who can help fill those spots as well. And look, he's a dribble driver, not a great three-point shooter or all-around player like Jovic, creating things offensively, but a different look, a different look. And Jaquez didn't play tonight. Neither did Burks. Neither did Highsmith. Neither did Larson. Those guys can come in and play in any game for Miami and give them some minutes and give them some things. But, right now they have to find that rotation. They have to figure this out. I don't know what's going on with Kevin Love, personal reasons. Again, he could really help here. Terry Rozier seems to be falling out of favor right now. He was 0 for 4 in 10 minutes tonight. And again, this guy's a 24, 23, 24 point per game scorer in Charlotte when the Heat acquired him. And if you can get that backcourt going with Tyler, who dropped 40 again tonight, and you get some scoring out of Rozier. Look, Devion Mitchell is not a guy who should be playing 34 minutes. He's a bench guard. He's not a starter. Rozier's the starter, man. And I know what they're doing. If Mitchell's going to start, and that really helps the backcourt defensively with Tyler in there, right? So he's going to start. That's going to help with Tyler. Then you got to come heavy off the bench. You got to come heavy off the bench with Rozier. And as the sixth man, think of like Vinnie Johnson, the microwave with the Detroit Pistons back in the day. Think of someone like when James Harden was sixth man of the year, coming in just heating it up with instant offense, right? Instant offense off the bench should be Terry Rozier's role on this team. Jovic, the all-around player, is going to be gone for a while. We have no timetable for him yet, and that is really frustrating. But we have a lot of great things coming your way on the show. We still have, obviously, we're going to run through the box score, tell you what your favorite player or players did tonight numbers-wise. We'll hit the team stats, and obviously we'll focus and concentrate a little bit more on the fourth quarter because that's when they faded. They had the game in hand, and they just did not show up in the fourth quarter again tonight. Ran out of steam, ran out of gas, and all that. And then, of course, we will have your stars of the game, your turning point, and your final score graphic, plus get you ready for the game in Atlanta. Look, Miami in the playoff race right now. You have under 30 games remaining. Tick, 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 tick. I don't even have a watch on, but I don't need to. Tick, 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 tick. Okay? You got to start getting this thing figured out. Now, Jovic being out now is a huge loss for them off the bench. That's their number one front court player off the bench. He can score, he can dribble drive, he can facilitate, he can create, he can dribble, he can do all these things. Right? And the size, the unlimited talent and potential seemingly for Jovic. But He's gone. We don't know how long he's going to be out for. Wiggins has got to assert himself more, but what can this team do to offset the loss of Jovic? How are they going to integrate the new guys so that they can stop falling apart in the apart in the fourth quarter? Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, Gries, at Jim Grease _ on social media. 120-113, the final score tonight. The Bucks beat the Heat. Miami outscored by 15 in the fourth quarter. They led almost wire to wire in this game, and I don't have to tell you, Heat fan, almost does not count. On the other side, when we're done telling you about another magnificent offer, special offer from a great partner of ours that we hook you up exclusively through and with, yeah, on the other side, box score, stats, team stats, and a whole lot more. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Heat Postcast, 120-113. Bucks win. Bucks win on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. And it just so happens that today, oh, baby, today, NBA fans, you get ready because they swoosh, you save. Thanks to Dash Pass, every time a player drops 50 or more points in a game, you score a huge deal the next day. Let me explain. It's simple. When any player scores 50 or more in a game during the 24-25 NBA regular season, DoorDash members get 50% off an order, up to $10 off the next day from noon to midnight. Here are a few ways you can take advantage of this deal. Game day feast, for example, right? After an epic 50-point performance, celebrate by ordering wings, pizza, burgers from your favorite spot, delivered straight to your door. Late night cravings, how about that? Whether you're staying up watching highlights or you just need a midnight snack, use DoorDash to grab something delicious while saving big. And Dash Pass is the way to go. Lunch on the go, you need a quick and easy lunch? Dash Pass all the way. Zero delivery fees and reduced service fees. Plus now you save even more with this exclusive NBA offer. And how about fueling those watch parties? Planning to catch the next game? Order your go-to snacks and meals at a discount and get ready for more high-scoring action. Sign up for Dash Pass. Be ready to save. When any player scores 50 or more in a game, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order the next day, up to $10 off. Just use promo code NBA50 from noon to midnight after a 50-point game on eligible orders at participating merchants. Must have an active DoorDash Dash Pass account. Terms apply. Visit DoorDash to learn more. And I will tell you what, noon to midnight the day after the game is when it's active, and it is exclusive to Dash Pass members. All right, Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Want to remind you, too, that your favorite team, and we are free, by the way, here on YouTube, Locked On Sports Miami, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart. We have that Dolphins Roundtable show coming your way soon as well that I'll be hosting, and that's going to be starting soon in addition to all the postcasts I do here on the network and some other stuff coming your way as well. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, Gries, at Jim Grease _ on social media. Tough one again for the Heat tonight. 26-29, 3 under 500 for the third time this season. And, they led almost wire to wire in Milwaukee tonight. They scored 37 points in the first quarter. But as things would unfold in the way that it's been lately for Miami, they've been running out of gas late. Questionable foul call on Bam in the third quarter really hit them hard and squashed big momentum they had. Bam had hit a couple threes even. Couple of big scores late in the shot clock. Big shot after big shot late in the clock from Tyler Herro, who had another 40-point game tonight for Miami. A little tease here coming your way. The stars of the game, the turning point, final score graphic. We're going to hit the box in a minute. We're going to give you the final team stats as well. We're going to look ahead to the Atlanta Hawks game tomorrow. I love you tomorrow. You might not love tomorrow with Trae Young and the Hawks waiting for you. But one more thing I want to say is they've been forging an identity for a while now without Jimmy Butler, right? Because Jimmy, just little child that he is, obviously he knew he wasn't going to get his extension. He knew it coming into the season. I don't even want to talk about that guy right now. Obviously, he's playing well in Golden State. I think both teams won the deal. But all those games they played without Jimmy, right? All those games without Jimmy. All the games that each different role player or starters have missed. How many different, and I don't have the answer to this question, but how many different starting lineups has Spo been forced to use this season, right? Think about that. Ponder that thought. where's the continuity, right? You had no Jimmy, who was your superstar and your best player coming into this season. So Tyler and Bam had to step up, and you're seeing the results of that now. They both had big games tonight. Again, obviously, they need help. They need Wiggins to step up and take a much bigger role. They need him to play like he did in the first quarter specifically, and in the second half, disappearing, missing easy shots, not scoring at will against far inferior players. You're a number one pick, bro. Let's go. Let's go, Wiggy. Come on. This is time for you to step up and be that option. He should be the number 2 on this team. And the other thing is Terry Rozier, damn it. Off the bench as a 6th man. Let's go. Let's make this guy a microwave. Let's get some instant offense off the bench. Terry, fill that role, fill that role, fill that role. Let's go. Think about that, right? Rozier off the bench, instant offense. If Mitchell's going to start on-ball defense, he's really a reserve type of dude. But if Rozier can be that guy and play the majority of the minutes as a reserve off the bench, remember when Harden was a 6th man? These are the things, right, that matter most. How will this team gel and come together? Jovic is a Swiss Army knife off the bench. He can do it all, man. He can do it all. That's a big loss with the fractured hand in this bone here in the shooting hand. And that's really, really tough. Really tough. That's a bad loss for Miami to lose him right now. Jaquez hasn't been playing. I love his aggressiveness, his toughness, but with Wiggins there, does a lot of the same things and does them better. Shoots great from the perimeter as well. So Wiggins really has to step up and do everything now with Jovic out too. Jaquez is going to have to step up off the bench. I think Burks, but I like all that, and I'm cool with all that. But they have to figure out Rozier off the bench, instant offense. That has to happen for this team as it's constructed right now. Tyler's going to have to settle and find his range. He's not going to be scoring 40 if you're going to be playing winning basketball. He's going to be around his average 24, 25. Bam's going to have to be at around 20 with double digits and rebounds every night. Without Jovic, look, Wiggins is going to have to be 15 to 18 every night. Every night close to double digits in rebounds. He's going to have to stroke the 3. You're going to have Rozier averaging 15 points a game. These are very clearly defined roles, and if they can't fill them, other people are going to have to be brought in next year to do that because this just isn't happening right now for Miami. Tyler, 40 points, 11 assists, not much more he could do. Bam with 24, Wiggins 20, Ware 12 and 12 for Miami. Tyler's from Milwaukee. Shout out to Tyler, the NBA 3-point contest winner. He was only 1 of 5 from deep in the first half, 3 for 12 overall. Can you imagine if Tyler hit 4 more of those threes? Number 1, they win the game easily, and number 2, he has a 50-point game. That's the difference right there. But the guys, look, playing time restrictions for injuries for Lillard and Antetokounmpo, no. 37 and 31 minutes respectively. So Lillard 28 points and Giannis 23 points and 16 rebounds. Giannis was balling in the fourth quarter, and that was a big difference in this game as well. Look, he's a 2-time MVP. He's an NBA champion. He's the best player on the floor. Not even close for either team, and Lillard's number 2. So you got the 2 best players on the floor on your team. And, I thought that Porter Jr. was really good tonight as well for Milwaukee. We're going to hit that in just a second, but the bench for Milwaukee outscoring Miami's bench 34-12, especially after Jovic went out. And that's where I'm talking to you, Terry Rozier. Let's go. And we need Kevin Love back. Now, don't forget, in spots down the stretch, 30 games or less in the season now, K-Love coming back and giving you 10, 15 minutes. He will give you really good minutes at those times. So real quick, I want to mention what happened in the fourth quarter for Miami, because this was the key to the game, really, and it was a bloodbath. 35-20, Milwaukee outscored the Heat in the fourth, and the field goal percentage 61% to 38%. The threes, 4 of 9 for the Bucks, 1 of 8 for the Heat. Rebounds, 14-9 for Milwaukee in that quarter. And when you're looking at Tyler Herro and what he's done lately, good Lord, man, 40 at Dallas, 28 at Toronto, 40 tonight, 7 assists at Toronto, 11 tonight. So his last couple of games, he's averaged 34 and 10.5, assists, 34 and 9, assists. And, the rebounds have been up there too. So great job by Tyler Herro. You are watching your Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Jim Grease Hobart. Call me Grease at @JimGrease_ on social media. Give me a follow, make you holler. Don't forget about the newsletter, LockedOnDaily.com. Heat and NBA news in your inbox every day. Don't forget Locked On Heat podcast. The guys do an incredible job day in and day out, but right here is where you want to be right after the game. Be on the lookout for the Dolphins Roundtable show that I'll be hosting starting next month right here on the network, as well as some other things coming your way very soon. Going to wrap it up. Un momento, por favor, after a word from FanDuel, but you know what I'm saying. We have to give you a little bit of what we call a tease here. On the other side, finally, we're going to give you the box score. Finally, we're going to give you the team stats. And finally, it has happened for me right in front of my face. I will put up the graphics. All right, there you have it. Stars of the game, turning point, and final score graphic. We get you ready for Atlanta. We'll talk a little bit more about this team coming together, and I put on my coach's hat, but NBA coaches don't wear hats, so that doesn't make sense. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Locked On Heat postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there is no better place to get in on it than FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. I talk about it all the time. Why? Because they pay to be on the shows, but because I love them. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game. So even if you miss the opening tip-off or you want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. I love it. It's so dope. I love using the live betting feature because it keeps every moment of every game exciting. And that's what it's all about, right? Keeping the action within the action. Whether I'm backing my team for a late game rally, go Luka and LeBron, or picking a player to hit a clutch three, I never feel like I missed my chance. Plus, the app is easy to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly. Right now, FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. And I am Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. Loving on FanDuel. I mean, think about it, right? The live betting throughout the game, just dope. Just super dope. All right, reminding you, your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Locked On Heat Daily Newsletter, one stop for ultimate Heat and NBA coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day with the all-new free Locked On Heat newsletter. All right, Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Pump it up. You know, I thought we'd be celebrating a win tonight. I really did. They look really good in the first quarter, guys. Did Miami not look super good in the first quarter? I don't know how many of you actually watched this game, but that's why I'm here. In case you didn't, the first half was dope for Miami. They shot 48%, almost 49%, but they weren't hitting from three tonight, and that's been a problem. If Tyler's not hitting threes, and he wasn't, the Dunkmeister hasn't been stepping up. And that to me, there are two guys on this team right now who I really need to call out. The emergence of Ware has been great. Look, guys like Highsmith and Jaquez with the new players, with Anderson here and Mitchell and Wiggins, those roles are going to be configured. You have not seen or heard the last of them. Two guys in my crosshairs right now. 120-113, the final. Milwaukee wins. The Heat lose again. Okay? Frustrating to say the least. And the performance the other night was pretty good against Toronto. You win by 9. But, recently they've faded. They have faded against Dallas on the road. They have faded against the Thunder on the road. I mean, the Celtics beat the piss out of everybody, so they didn't really fade against them, but they faded against the Nets. They faded against the Bulls. They faded against a lot of teams recently, and really the Bulls and the Nets on the road were just awful. Those were the ones. And then you look at tonight. I mean, they've played some good teams lately, but as they start to gel and come together, they've run out of gas a couple of times, but there are a couple of guys in my crosshairs. I want to get to them. Un momento, por favor. But first, I'm going to hit you with the team stats and the box scores, and then we will talk about the players who are in my crosshairs before we hit the Hawks game, wrap it up, and get on up, get on out right here. stay on the scene. No, not after this game. All right, so 120 to 113, the final. And for the Milwaukee Bucks, obviously, it was a big fourth quarter. And I just want to reiterate that your Miami Heat literally crapped the bed in the fourth quarter. Again, they outscored Milwaukee 37-23 in the first. Bucks won every quarter after that. 32-28 in the second, 30-28 in the third, and 35-20 in the game-clinching, sealing fourth quarter. So there you have it there. But on the box score side of things for your Miami Heat, first the starters, Tyler Herro played like one tonight. 12 of 27, 40 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds for Tyler. But the NBA's three-point shooting champion, 3 for 12 from beyond the arc. 3 for 12, man. And think about that. He makes even 3 more of those. That's 9 more points. Hey, not a math major at the U, but that gives the Miami Heat maybe possibly the victory. So the shooting woes from beyond the arc for Tyler tonight were real. He finished 3 of 12, even though he had 40 points. Could have been a 50-point game. Could have been a Heat victory had he been able to hit those triples. Davion Mitchell, not a scorer. His backcourt mate had 5 points tonight, only shot 4 times in 34 minutes. This dude's not a starter. If he's going to keep starting, Rozier has to play the bulk of the minutes off the bench, not come in and go 0 for 4 in 10 minutes. More on him in a minute. And Duncan Robinson, those two. Anyway, all right, so also for the Heat tonight, the scores, and I mentioned Mitchell with 5 points. Kel'el Ware played well in the middle. He was 6 of 10 for 12 points, also had 12 rebounds and 4 assists for the big fella in 37 minutes. Nice job, too, when Bam was out of the game in foul trouble. Held it down, had a couple of putbacks, a couple of nice passes as well. Caught an alley-oop and dunked on a nice feed from Tyler. Bam Adebayo, 24 points, 7 rebounds, no rebounds in the second half. Come on, big guy. All right, come on, let's go. All right, and then 20 points for Wiggins, but 15 in the first half. He was 7 of 20, 1 of 5 from 3 for Miami. The team stats in a minute, but they did not shoot well from beyond the arc tonight. The bench points, again, if you missed it, Nikola Jovic has a broken bone in his hand. No word yet on how long he'll be out, but he had 7 points in 15 minutes tonight. 3 of 4 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3. And then the other bench scoring, non-existent. It was 34-12 Bucks, a huge advantage for them in bench scoring tonight. Duncan Robinson, 3 points on 1 of 3 from 3. 7, I mentioned for Jovic. No points for Anderson, and 2 rebounds in 9 minutes. And then Rozier, disgusting. 0 for 4, 0 for 2 from 3, 2 points in 10 minutes. Love Highsmith Burks, who's going to have to score to help out Tyler here too as well. Jaquez, who's going to be counted on now that Jovic is going to be out for an extended time, and then Pelle Larsson did not play. But the team stats in a minute, but 9 for 31. They made 9 threes, Miami. You're never going to win a game when you make 9 threes in the NBA when the other team is making them, and Milwaukee made 14 tonight. For the Bucks, it was Dame Lillard, 9 for 17, 5 of 12 from 3, had 28 points and 8 assists. For Milwaukee, Giannis tonight with 23 points and 16 rebounds, balled out in the fourth quarter, also had 7 assists. 17 for Lopez, who played well tonight. Kuzma with 16, including a big 3 down the stretch. Gary Trent Jr. and then Porter Jr. off the bench with 16 and 11, respectively. Look, they didn't have Bobby Portis. You know, Giannis and Dame have been hurt. This is a bad time. They've lost all 3 games to Milwaukee this season. And, man, just not a good experience tonight for the Miami Heat. And real quick with the team stats, okay? Field goal percentage, 46 for the Heat, 51 for Milwaukee. 3 points, 29 for the Heat, 35.9 for the Bucks. And again, Milwaukee, 14 of 39. The Heat only made 9 3-pointers. They were 9 of 31 tonight. Tyler, 3 of 14, even on a 40-point night. Rozier, 0 for 2. More on Rozier and Duncan in a minute. I'm not done with those two guys. And I'll have more to say in a minute. The Heat were 22 of 26 from the line. Kept them in the game tonight. Free throw percentage, 84-81. Rebounds, 46-40. Miami. Assists even at 25. Steals about even, blocks about even, turnovers 11 for Miami, 9 for Milwaukee. Fast break points, 15-14, the Heat with the advantage there. Points in the paint, Miami plus 12 at 60-48. Largest lead, 14 for Miami, 7 for Milwaukee. The Bucks were 3.5-point favorites, but again, in the fourth quarter, these are the numbers that matter the most as we come up to the end of the show. 20 points in the fourth quarter, 38% shooting, 1 of 8 from 3, and out-rebounded 14-9. Okay, so there you have it. The Bucks outscore you 35-20. They outshoot you 61% to 38%. They out-rebound you 14-9. They out-hustle you. They run you out of their building. They win the last 3 quarters after you smoke them in the first. Tyler couldn't hit anything down the stretch. Bam didn't rebound in the second half. And where in the blue hell are Terry Rozier and Duncan Robinson? I hit it so hard I knocked my light off. Literally, where are these guys? Rozier's a 20-plus point per game scorer who makes millions. Duncan Robinson, at one point in time, the highest percentage of three-point shooters in the association. Where are these guys right now? If Rozier's the number 1 sixth man off the bench scoring big for them, can you imagine like the microwave come in, heat up the game, scoring bunches, Terry, off the bench, and Devion Mitchell takes the pressure off you. He starts, but he doesn't play the bulk of the minutes because he cannot score. You come off the bench, you score. You can rebound. You facilitate. You're quick. You're in the lane. You rebound. Great for a small guard. Terry Rozier, let's go. Embrace this role and be a microwave off the bench. And then Duncan, come in and hit those threes, bro. Get out of your head. If Rozier can score in bunches off the bench and Duncan Robinson can hit his threes 2 to 3 a game, maybe 4 some nights, and hit double figures, right? And then Wiggins can get that confidence going and be the legit third scorer that he is. And Bam realizes he's got to score 20 a night. This can still be a damn good team. They can be middle of the pack in the Eastern Conference. They're not going to be better than the Cavs, the Knicks, or the Celtics. They're not. Everybody else, fair game. Everybody else, fair game. They'll be in Atlanta tomorrow. Chance to get it back going again. Look, this is not all lost. Spo was saying in his post-game presser, there's some good things happening. They've executed with purpose, better purpose on offense. Lately, the players are gelling, getting to know each other better. And then you had some missed shots tonight. They were pretty easy. Wiggins has got to win his individual battles when scrubs are covering him. That's for sure. And I hate to call anybody in the NBA a scrub, but compared to him, he's the number 1 pick. You know what I'm saying? And then they turn down some open opportunities. It's almost like they're playing a little too unselfishly at times. So there you have it. That's what happened in the game tonight. That's all there is, Heat fans. There is no more. 120-113, your final score. The Milwaukee Bucks 3-0 against the Heat this season. Let's see if there's anything else I missed. Bam in his 4th foul at 4:59 of the 3rd was huge. Jovic in the hand injury was big as well. 10-point lead at halftime. Huge first quarter for Miami, but then they got smoked after that. All right, let's get to what we got to get to wrap up the show. First things first, I grease freaks all the honeys, dummies, playboy bunnies, those wanting money. 120-113. Look at Dame Dollar make you holla into the lane. Simple and plain. He'll throw it down your throat like Barkley. 120-113 at Milwaukee. Look at the Vice City unis. Look at the kicks on Mitchell. Yeah, baby. And Tyler right there with the Matador defense. Ole, 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 ole. 120-113. Again, that fourth quarter outscored 35-20, outshot 61% to 38%. And Tyler Herro, 4 of 12 from 3 tonight, but he was 13 of 14 from the free throw line. So a lot of good things going on for T Herro there. The moment in this game tonight, the turning point for the Milwaukee Bucks. Bada bing, 35-20 in the fourth quarter. Look at that defense surrounding. And that was the whole thing tonight. Every time the Heat touched the ball in the fourth quarter, they were surrounded. It looked like 6-on-5. They were missing threes. They were taking almost every shot was contested. The rebounding was like one and done down the stretch. And there you have it. All right, stars of the game. First, for your stinking, rotten, lousy, winning Milwaukee Bucks, Dame Lillard, 28 points for Dame. Like, he's just as solid as you get, man. Dame Lillard, number 1. And number 2 for Milwaukee, Giannis, the Greek freak. Antetokounmpo, he had 23. Yeah, he had 23 and 16 with 7 assists. And again, he was supposed to be on a 20-minute restriction, but that went out the window in a close game. Funny how that happens. And how about the Heat's players of the game? Heat player of the game is Bam Adebayo. Bam had 24.7 rebounds. No rebounds in the second half, but clearly one of the best players on the floor tonight. And when he picked up his 4th foul with 4:59 left in the third quarter, he had just hit 2 threes. The lead was double digits for Miami and everything going their way. And then all of a sudden it wasn't, without Bam out there playing defense and without Bam calling out the rotations and without Bam extending the floor on offense and scoring. And, when it's late in the shot clock, he was hitting buckets. And, yeah, so there you have it. Bam with a big one tonight with the 24. And the biggest star of the game tonight for Miami, Yeah, 40 points for that man right there, matching his season high, Tyler Herro. But again, 4 of 12 from 3. I don't want to disparage. He had 11 assists as well. He's the guy when they need a bucket. When he went off the floor, Milwaukee went on a 12-2 run, and the Heat never recovered. So between Bam's 4th foul in the third quarter, which was a ticky-tack reaching away from the ball that the refs shouldn't have even been looking at, but Tyler resting when Bam came in cold, the Bucks went on a 12-2 run, and they did it with Giannis and Dame on the bench, and it was Porter Jr. and Trent Jr. hitting the shots there. Again, Bobby Portis is out, 3rd game tonight of his 25-game suspension. So, it's unfortunate. Fading late, not really having much of an identity offensively yet still, and those new guys finding their way, and then relying too much on Tyler to go 1-on-5 late in the shot clock. It's not good basketball. It's not efficient offense, and they're working it through. Spo said it after the game. Good things happening, and we just have to be patient with what Jimmy Butler did to this organization this year and their own role in it as well. It's amazing that Riley was even able to get Wiggins back for that petulant child, Jimmy Butler, and the way that he acted this year. But nonetheless, I digress, and I will say with meaning and full intention this time as I mean it. That's all there is, Heat fan. There is no more. 120-113. Your Miami Heat fall to the Milwaukee Bucks. They'll be in Atlanta tomorrow night to take on the Hawks. We will be here right after that game. Let's see what time the tip is. What time is the tip tomorrow night of that game? It will be another tip-off, and it will be Heat Hawks. It will be a 7:30 tip, so we'll be here about 9:30, 10-ish. Tomorrow night after the Heat play in Atlanta, maybe they can get back on track. It's the first of a home-and-home against the Hawks tomorrow night in Atlanta, Wednesday night in Miami, and then they play the Pacers at home on Friday to wrap up the month of Feb. Under 30 games left. Sense of urgency is here. Will they gel? Will that Heat culture take over? Will Wiggins become a bad man toward the end of the season and embrace that third role? What will happen with Rozier and Duncan off the bench? They got to step it up. We know this, man. 120-113. They lose tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. It's free here on YouTube, free wherever you get your podcast, as is Heat Podcast, day to day with the fellas and your Heat. Locked On Heat newsletter, lockedondaily.com. Heat and NBA news in your inbox every day. Check it out, lockedondaily.com. Thanks to DoorDash and FanDuel. Thanks to you. Yeah, that's right. I'm Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease, Gries, at Jim Grease _ on social media, reminding you always, give yourself a big pat on the back and a thanks from us for being the best part of this network. And even more important, no matter what you do, always keep your game tight and your mind right, baby. I'm out.